In all languages, we have words that are used to describe the relationship between different things. They can describe something's location relative to something else, like the cup is on the table. On describes the location of the cup relative to the table. In the sentence, the phone rang after he left, the word after describes the time the phone rang relative to when he left, after he left. These words are called prepositions. And today, we are going to learn 3 very important ones that are used in the Hebrew Bible. Hello, my name is Matthew, and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome to the 4th episode of Reading the Hebrew Bible. Each of the 3 prepositions we're going to learn today are spelled with just one letter, a bit, lamed, or kaf, that attaches to the beginning of a word. Before we begin, an important note. Prepositions are often the most difficult words to translate throughout languages. English and Biblical Hebrew especially use their prepositions in very different ways. Today, I'm going to show you some of the most common uses of these Hebrew prepositions and their most usual English translations. But remember to be flexible when interpreting the meaning of prepositions in the Hebrew Bible. Alright, now let's begin with the preposition b, spelled as a bit, usually with schwa, and most other times with a hirik, that attaches to the beginning of a word. B often describes location, similar to English words like in or at. The first 2 verses of 1 Samuel 17 tell us where the Philistines and Israelites set up their camps for war. Verse 1 says the Philistines camped ba'ephis damim. The preposition b attaches to the word ephis, which is part of the place name Ephis Damim. Ba'ephis damim, at Ephis damim. Verse 2 tells us where the Israelites camped, Ba'emek ha'elah. Emek ha'elah means the valley, the emek of Elah. Ba'emek ha'elah, in the valley of Elah. Note how I'm being flexible with the translation of ba. In English, we say someone camps at a place, but in a valley. Hebrew uses ba for both contexts. Another way ba is used for location is in the phrase b'derech sha'arayim. Derech means way or road. Derech sha'arayim, the way or the road to Sha'arayim. B'derech sha'arayim, on the way to Sha'arayim. In English, we say on a way, and Hebrew uses its location preposition ba. And ba is not only used for location, but also for time, just like English is in. The phrase bimei Shaul attaches ba to the phrase yemei Shaul, the days of Saul. Bimei Shaul, in the days of Saul. Ba is often attached to a verb to mean when that action happened. The men of Israel fled when they saw Goliath. The Hebrew word for when they saw is bir otam. The ba describes the time of the event, when it happened. Ba is also used to talk about the means by which something is done. This use is similar to the English prepositions by or with. When David faces Goliath, he tells him, "You come to me b'cherev uv'chanit uv'chidon." The vav, here pronounced u, means and. So this is b'cherev, with sword, cherev, u, and v'chanit, with spear, chanit, u, and v'chidon, with javelin, chidon. Note that the beit may lose its dagesh, which makes it say v instead of b. This often happens when the sound before it is a vowel, u, for example. David also says, "I come to you, b'shem Adonai Tzavaot." We know Shem, name, and Adonai, God's name. Tsavaot means host or armies. Adonai Tsavaot is a common way to refer to God, the Lord of Hosts. Shem Adonai Tsavaot, the name of the Lord of Hosts. Shem Adonai Tsavaot, in the name of the Lord of Hosts. This is an example of how a little wordplay is often left out when we translate the Hebrew into English. Many translations render the first buzz as with sword, spear, and javelin, but the second as in the name. That is a correct translation, but it doesn't let us see how David says Goliath is coming weapons, but he is coming the name of the Lord of Hosts. The English does not have such a strong contrast. So those are 3 of the main uses of There are other ones, but we'll look at those later, as they're often more specific. For now, let's move on to the preposition k. This preposition is not nearly as common as but like it attaches to the following word and usually has a schwa or a hirik. The main use of k is to draw a similarity between things, like or as. For example, Goliath's spear was kimnor orgim. Manor is a beam, and orgim means weavers. Manor orgim, a weaver's beam. The ki attached to the beginning is comparing Goliath's spear to the weaver's beam. It was like a weaver's beam. Another example is verse 36. David tells Saul about when he killed a lion and bear that tried to take a sheep, and that Goliath will be ka'achad mehem, like ka'achad mehem, one of them. You'll also see ka used to mean according to as well, as in Numbers 9:3. Ka'chol chukotav, ka, according to, chol chukotav, all its rights, and ch, according to, chol mishpatav, all its ceremonies. One final common use of ka is very similar to the way is used with a verb to describe the time something happened, as we saw with bir otam, when they saw. An example from verse 55 of our chapter, kirot Shaul, when Saul saw. Very similar to bir otam, when they saw. And now for the third preposition of today, la, a lamed, that again attaches itself to the beginning of a word and usually has a schwa and sometimes a hirik. La, like is an extremely common preposition and has a very wide variety of uses. La often acts very much like our word to. Both to and la can be used to indicate the direction someone is going. David's older brothers followed Saul la milchama, la to the milchama, war. To and la also describe doing something to a person. Goliath challenged the Israelites, Tunu li ish, give to me a man. You can see the la in li, to me. Another example, Vayomer lo ha'am. Ha'am is the subject of this sentence, the people, and the verb is vayomer, and he said, a very common verb that you can go ahead and learn from memory. It has the subject he built into its verb structure, and he said. But if the subject is directly mentioned, as it is here, ha'am, you don't translate that implicit subject he. Vayomer ha'am, and the people said. Remember, am is a masculine noun in Hebrew, so it is referred to as a he. This phrase also has the object lo, to him, with the preposition la, to. Vayomer lo ha'am, and the people said to him. Note how the sentence structure of the Hebrew sentence is very different from our English translation. Remember to be flexible with the order of words. Using le is also a common way to express possession or belonging in Hebrew. At the beginning of the chapter, the Philistines gathered at Socho Asher Lihuda. Socho is a place name, and Yehuda is the Hebrew for Judah. Asher is a very common conjunction, similar to our English words which, that, and who. Socho Asher Lihuda. Socho Asher, which, le, to, Yehuda, Judah. To make a translation that flows well, I'll add the word belonged. Socho, which belonged to Judah. We've seen Goliath's phrase, Atem avadim l'Shaul, before. It means, you are servants of Saul. Now we can see the preposition le, which shows possession. You are servants l'Shaul, possessed by Saul, belonging to Saul, or of Saul. Another very famous example is l'Adonai hamilchama. Le, to or of Adonai, the Lord, is hamilchama, the battle. L'Adonai hamilchama, of the Lord is the battle. The battle belongs to the Lord. The last use of le we look at today is similar to the English for. Another part of Goliath's challenge to the Israelites is Beru lachem ish, choose for yourselves a man. Lachem with le means for you, or for yourselves. And so those are 3 Hebrew prepositions. Next time, we're going to learn some more about these very important words, including how to say the with them. We're also going to learn a bit more about the vav, that means and one last one-letter word.